Go on. Good girl. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to look at some Auto World. I've got two GT40s. Yes, I know. Go on. Go lay down. Today, I've got two GT40s to look at. Both of them are 1965 Ford GT40 Mk1s or Mark 1. I'm not sure. Vintage Muscle Series limited edition. The first one we'll look at is metallic blue for the paint. Premium Facts, finally edging out Ferrari after 6 years of dominating 24 hours of Le Mans. The Ford GT40 won from 1966 through 1969. That's interesting. The Ford GT40 edged out Ferrari at the 24 hours of Le Mans. It's kind of crazy. The Ford GT40 was based on the mid-engine Lola Mk6, which also used a Ford V8 engine. And the second one that we will look at, same car, 1965 Ford GT40 Mk1, or Mark 1. This one is in silver, and its Premium Facts show in the early 1960s, Ford was set to buy 90% stake in Ferrari when suddenly Enzo Ferrari backed out of the deal over a dispute with open-wheel race car. The GT40 open-wheel race cars. Sorry, some of it gets tucked behind the blister. The GT40 was developed in retaliation to defeat Ferrari at the famed 24 Hours of Le Mans. Carroll Shelby and his team took over the development of the GT40 after 1964. So, that's kind of cool, actually. So, Ford was going to buy, let me see. Ford was set to buy a 90% stake in Ferrari in the 1960s. And then Enzo backed out of the deal. And so Ford basically got upset and said, all right, we'll make our own car. And with that car, they beat Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans from 1966 through 1969. That's kind of cool. So anyway, their Auto Worlds, we covered that. So if you've been here before, I keep the cards for Auto World. These are 2022 Release 3 true 1/64th scale cars. We'll get into that a little bit later. Rubber tires, metal bases, die cast. I don't know if there's any opening parts on these or not, but we'll find out over here. So I will cut the blisters ahead of time, and then we will see the cars shortly. Again, when you remove the cars from the blister the way that I do, you can keep this little blister if you needed to store your car. You could then maybe just put a couple pieces of tape around the edge here, and the car would be still in its front and back blister. So kind of cool. I don't do that. Just a thought for those of you that maybe want to. So, Ford GT40 Mark 1 from Auto World. Very cool piece. The blue looks good. What do we got here? Ford GT. Rubber tires, cool wheel, air vents, or not vents, actually, intakes. GT40 PR, not sure what the PR is. Not sure what that is either. Because there's your exhaust up there. Not sure. And then a little bit of engine detail. And can we get a look at the interior? Yeah, kinda. Right side drive, which is interesting for Ford to do. Very nice. Let's see, can we read the base details? Oh, excellent. At the top, you get the manufacturer date, 5/18 of 2022. It is a cool thing that Auto World does. And then the Auto World logo right there. Metal on metal. Very, very nice. And then the only other one that I have, this silver. Come on, focus for me. And it's the same casting, just no markings. Lenses for headlights. Single wiper. GT40 PR again. Very cool. Also right-hand drive or right side drive. Same pattern on the seats. Not really gonna get a look inside. Not lighting, just ain't gonna do it for me. This one, 5/18/2022. Were these made on the same day? Huh, look at that. Must have been doing a run that day in different colors. Very cool. So I do have a couple offerings in the back there from Matchbox. And I kind of wanted to see if I could showcase the size difference on these things, just because, and I'm not sure why Matchbox doesn't claim to be true 1/64th like these are. But I wonder also if it maybe has something to do with children. But as you can see, that just that just dwarfs that. And so Auto World's recommended ages, let me see, I got a card here. 6+, where I believe Matchbox is 3 and up. But look at the difference. And I don't know if it's just to fill the blister and then you just have a nice larger car for the kids to play with, or is it because at the age of 3 you could, I mean, at 6 you could certainly get this in your mouth and swallow it also, but you would probably know better than to do that by the age of 6. Where at the age of 3, maybe this makes it more difficult. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas, but you definitely can tell. So if we do these two metals by each other, Auto World, Matchbox, way different. And then these blues. And obviously the Matchbox are the same casting, so, but what a crazy size difference. And then obviously Auto World just being the true 1/64th kind of should make it to where their vehicles would run or be sized accordingly. So here would be a GT40, and then here would be a Chevy Silverado. And I could kind of see that, I suppose. Would that be accurate? If a GT40 pulled into a parking space next to a Chevy Silverado? I don't know. Something to think about. But very cool. Nice Auto World additions for sure. The GT40. What do you think of the size comparison? What's your thoughts on that? I don't know why Matchbox would oversize it, other than that would just, they wouldn't have to make new blister sizes, because that car would just rattle around probably, being so small. I'm not sure. I'd be curious what your thoughts are. But yeah, here's the back of the card. I never did show. They if they're from the same series, they share the same back in Auto World, so I can show you one. The front of the cards obviously have different information, which is why I keep them for paint codes and little tidbits of information. That's what's kind of cool. I didn't know. You guys probably did. You're smarter than I am. The whole Ford trying to take a 90% stake in Ferrari and then Enzo backing out of the deal, basically making Ford upset. So they just created their own supercar, if that's what you want to call it, in the GT40 Mark 1, and winning the 24-hour at Le Mans, and taking that crown from Ferrari for 3 consecutive years. That's a cool story. So, all right, that's going to do it. I have more Auto World to come. I'm a big fan, honestly, of their diecast stuff. So maybe once a week we'll meet up and do some Auto World. I did pre-order the first release for 2025, the case. So I should get all 6 cars in that with a chance at an ultra red, but you know, those things, those fancy high-end, I shouldn't call them high-end, but those super rare cars don't come my way very often. So I'm not going to get my hopes up for that, but I am looking forward to a number of cars in that 6-car lineup. So we'll definitely get to that case whenever it gets to me. I don't even know. I don't even have any shipping information. I just pre-ordered it. So anyway, I have plenty more Auto Worlds. We'll visit them as we get to it. So thanks a lot for watching. We will see you in a future video. Y'all take care. Like, comment, subscribe, and do the stuff. And yeah, we just play with tiny cars here. Bye.